Welcome back to the show. It can be a difficult task if you don't know what you're doing, but my next guest is going to help us with just that. If you are looking at going through the holidays and beyond without gaining weight, my next guest has some great advice for all of our viewers at home. I am joined by Hickey, Naturopath. Welcome. Great to have you here. An author, I should say, as well. You brought your book along with you as well, so great to have you here. Let's talk about some of those steps we should take, Sue-Ann. What's sort of that first thing we should be thinking about before we dive into, you know, all those deviations we're going to be talking about during the interview?
Yes, literally. So the first thing I entice people to do is before you go out, have something to eat. So most people will do the opposite. When they're ready for a party, they're like, okay, I'm not going to eat lunch, or I'll just have a salad because I know I'm going to overeat at dinner.
Right.
So that's, in my opinion, the worst thing you can do. You want to have a good substantial snack, maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, a small meal. So when you arrive at the party, you're not overly hungry, you're not diving into the hors d'oeuvres. And generally when we're at a party, dinner is going to be a bit late, right? It'll be 7 or 8. And I don't know about you, but when I'm overly hungry, I can't eat fast enough and I overeat.
I am so guilty of this, Sue-Ann. Honestly, I just went to a Christmas party over the weekend that I happened to host, and I did just that. Like, I didn't have lunch, and then all of a sudden, it just sits in you terribly too at times, right? When you end up doing that. So that's one thing. You also suggest starting with a non-alcoholic beverage. Tell me, what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, with that, if we're going to a big party, we don't know everyone that's there, we might be a little nervous, or maybe the in-law is there that's going to push your buttons. So if you start with the Perrier, that will be better than starting with an alcoholic beverage that can go right to your head, and then all resolve goes out the window.
Right. Okay.
So,
next one is bring a healthy dish. So a lot of us, I mean, I'm going to probably a couple of potlucks over the holiday season. When it comes to what people should bring to a potluck, if they're trying to keep this in mind, what do you suggest?
Yeah, so bring the healthy dish. Like, this is black bean and corn salad. You have all the protein in the black beans. I always try and bring a dish that's going to fill me up and keep me satisfied a long time. So something with protein in it. Everyone always loves veggies and hummus.
Yeah.
And when you put that out before a meal, it won't fill you up like cheese and crackers does. And you can have all your veggies, all the vitamins in it, and it's super delicious. I make my own homemade hummus.
Nice.
Put everything in the food processor. I time myself. Takes only 4 minutes, and everyone loves it. It's so much better than store-bought.
Agreed. It looks like you added a little something, though. You made it like the Sue-Ann Hickey special hummus here, right?
There is cumin, a bit of cumin and basil, lemon juice, tahini, and just the chickpeas. So, but the bit of cumin and basil and salt and garlic, of course, makes it have that extra pizzazz.
So you're a normal human like the rest of us, even though you're a naturopath. So, you bring these dishes, you're going to eat, some of the, but you are going to deviate a little bit, right? And indulge in something. Like, how do you get back on track after you end up, sort of deviating from the regular diet that you're used to?
Yes, many people think that, they have to be so perfect when they want to lose weight and follow it to a T and white knuckle it through the holidays. That's never going to last long term.
Right.
So I always tell my clients, enjoy your deviations. I don't like the word cheats because it has such a negative connotation. So enjoy your deviations, savor them, don't feel guilty, and then get back on track the next meal or the next day. Whereas in the past, what might have happened is they have their deviations, maybe a little bit too much, and the next day they're like, I can't do this, this is too hard, forget it, and they have the croissant for breakfast and continues from there.
They just give up. They just throw in the towel and they're done. You sent a body type chart to us, and I'm going to ask them in the control room to bring up that chart. Let's talk about body type. Like, should you eat differently depending on your body type?
100%. That's what my passion is. When I was taking my classes to be a naturopath, the first thing that we learned was how to eat right for your body type.
Okay, and we're looking at it right here just to give you a heads up.
So there are 4 different body types. It has to do with the glands.
Okay.
Nothing is wrong with the glands. It just means that each of us have a gland that's working harder than the others, and the others are trying to catch up. So when you start eating the right foods at the right time for your body type, the dominant gland calms down and the other glands get stronger, and this creates a balance from the inside out. So across the board, when we start eating like that, all my clients tell me my cravings have gone down. I'm not as hungry. I feel better eating this way. I'm losing weight. So because we're giving the body the right foods at the right time, there's a sense of balance from the inside out, and it works amazing. It's the single most beneficial thing that I ever did to completely transform my health and my life.
So looking at this chart, I mean, if you could pick one of these body types, can you give an example of, you know, sort of what type of food, I don't like to say diet, what type of food lifestyle you should be living?
Sure. So for the gonad type, that's often known as the pear-shaped.
Okay.
So they tend to gain weight a little bit more lower body. And for them, they have a very slow metabolism in the morning. They, you know, take my time, takes me a while to get going. So a small light breakfast is perfect for them, medium to light lunch, and dinner is the main meal of the day, as that is when their metabolism is highest, and that's when they're going to burn it off most easily.
Okay.
So some people are doing the opposite. They think, I need a big breakfast, and everyone says eat a big breakfast,
Right.
but if they have like a heavy breakfast, bacon and eggs, that could just completely cause them to gain weight.
Interesting.
So everyone
Okay.
is different in what their needs are.
You brought along your book, Body Typology.
Body
Tell me a little
Typology.
bit, what can people find in the book?
Yeah, in the book, it's all about the different body types. You'll be able to figure out your body type. You'll be able to determine your plan, and everything is set so you know what kinds of foods to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what foods to eat more of, what foods to avoid, and a lot of healthy tips of other things of just how to be healthy in general.
Right, and I imagine too, I mean, making your own food is probably one of the biggest things that we should be doing for our health, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, what we see in the stores, all those prepackaged, if you look at those ingredients, I mean, are you shocked when you shop now and what you see on labels?
Recently, one of my clients said, you know, I'm making these healthy power bars. My healthy power bars have a half a cup of maple syrup in the whole batch. So her power bars were using chocolate chips, and those had like 90 grams of sugar in a half a cup. So
You got to watch that. Sue-Ann, thank you so much. Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
the time. You can get in touch with Sue-Ann by going to bodytypology.com. And of course, you can find her book there as well. We'll be back with more right after this.